Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. So today we're going to be focusing on some really nice juicy twisting and sort of side opening. So the theory behind it is with twists, and they can assist with digesting and detoxifying our body. So the thought is that when we're twisting, we're restricting blood flow to certain organs, and then when we sort of unravel ourselves, we have a rush of that fresh oxygen and fresh blood to those areas. But in addition to that, it's also really good for spinal mobility, and also putting all of that sort of medical stuff aside, it just really feels nice just to have a good sort of twist around. Can really help de-stress and just overall energises and help us feel good. So let's get cracking with some twists then, shall we? So if you want to get yourself seated nice and comfortably, again, you do not have to sit like me. You can take your legs long if you prefer, resting your hands over the knees. Take a moment to lift and extend up through the spine. Close the eyes and let's find our breath. Taking a little bit deeper, working through our ujjayi. Inhale. Exhale. Let's slow everything down. Try and let go of any heaviness from your day or from your week. If you find that your spine starts to slouch a little bit, just again lift up the heart, taking the shoulders from the ears. Gently open the eyes, taking our hands to prayer. Let's inhale, let's lift. And exhale, coming into a twist. So taking the left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind. Take a moment to lift the spine and then take the twist back. So that right shoulder rolls back. Take the hand as far round as you need to. Okay, we've all got different capacities with our twists. Aim to keep the breath as full as you're able to. And through centre, hands to prayer. And over to the other side. So again, take a moment, lift, and then take that twist back. Bringing the hand around to the other side if there's space. Hands back to prayer, inhale, lift. And bringing our hands back down. We're just going to take a little warm up now through our wrists. We're going to do some of our wrist circles. So trying to keep the wrists in contact with each other. We're going to roll our hands around. It doesn't matter which way you start with. So keeping them in contact, taking them 3 times round one way. And then reversing round the other. So keeping the wrists in contact. And reversing. Last time, bring them back the other way. Perfect. Taking the hands back to prayer, inhale. And bringing their fingertips behind us now. Take a moment to lift the spine, chest back, taking the head and chin back. And coming back to neutral. We're going to come onto our hands and our knees now. Let's find our way into our tabletop, ready to move around a few rounds of our cat-cow. So inhale, Taking the head up, tailbone up. Exhale, curl around. Coming to neutral, then we're going to squeeze the left shoulder and hip together. Moving to centre and then squeezing the right together. Let's do 2 more rounds of that. So inhale, head up, tailbone up, move into our cow. Exhale, curl round. Coming to neutral, squeezing the left. To centre, squeezing the right. To centre, 1 more round. Inhale. Exhale. To neutral, squeezing the left. Through centre, squeezing the right. And back to our centre. We're going to move to thread the needle now. So taking this right arm underneath the left. We're going to try and come onto our shoulder. So we keep this left hand just placed down to start with. Let's just see how you feel. Just try and roll the shoulder back so you're not collapsing the chest forward like this. We're trying to find a bit of a twist and an opening up through the shoulder. So if you're feeling pretty good here, pretty settled, you may want to take the left hand up, bring it behind us. You may be able to grab hold of the right thigh, or if you're not quite there, just grab hold of the wrist and the t-shirt instead. So if you are moving back again, we're trying not to just collapse everything down. Keep lifting, letting that top shoulder back. A few more breaths here. And let's unhook. And comes down. Going back into our tabletop and getting ready for the other side. So now the left one goes underneath the right. So just settle yourself to begin, keeping the right hand onto the ground just for a moment. And if it's feeling good, taking it up and behind us, grabbing hold of the thigh or the t-shirt. Keeping that top shoulder rolling back, continuing to find the space. Lifting it back to centre. We're going to open the knees a little bit wider now and fall back into a little child's pose. So bringing the bum back, spreading the fingers forward. Enjoying a few moments in this resting pose, guiding our way back to that lengthened breath. Let's bring in a few little side stretches now. So lifting up gently, we're going to walk our hands over to the right, pressing out through the left fingertips, pulling back with the left hips. And releasing, keeping low and working our way around the other side. So now pressing out through the right, pulling back with the right hips. And coming back to centre from here. Lifting ourselves up, we're going to come onto our knees now. You can bring them slightly closer together and coming into a side stretch again. So lifting up and then taking the left hand down the left side of the body, taking our right arm up and over the ear. So we're aiming to get these left fingertips down towards the ground. So don't bring our body forward in order to get there. We want to keep nice and straight. Imagine there's 2 walls between you so we can't move either side. Letting that stretch out through the right side of the body. Lifting up to centre, let's swap over sides. Now right arm down, right thigh. Stretching out through the left of the body. Lifting ourselves up. And coming into downward facing dog, tucking those toes. Let's get a little bit of walking going on to begin. Now we're going to turn the right knee in towards the centre of the mat, stretching out through the left. Moving through centre, let's swap over sides, taking the left one in the centre, stretching out through the right. And moving to centre. Settle yourself in your down dog. And we're going to find a little twist here. So we're going to lift the right hand and grab hold of the outer edge of the left leg. So we're aiming for the ankle, but if we can't reach the ankle, just take your hand further up the leg. And then we're going to twist the body and take our head underneath the armpit. So it's the outer edge of the leg we're aiming to touch. And through centre, let's swap over sides. So using the left arm, hand to grab hold of the outer edge of the right leg. And then looking under the right armpit, taking a little twist as we go. And unraveling ourselves, coming back to downward facing dog. Taking a full breath. And let's walk forward. Coming into a little ragdoll now, holding the elbows. And up we come, inhale. Lifting it through the arms, we're going to grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand. So stretching out, so pulling that right arm and stretching out through the right side of the body. Moving up to centre, swapping over sides. So grabbing hold of the left wrist now. We pull the arm and take that twist and stretch over to the side. Through centre, hands down, feet together. Let's bring ourselves into mountain. Taking a breath, inhale. And exhale. Let's go into tree to begin with. So we want to root down through the left leg, lifting up through the right. I'll move this way so you can see me a little bit better. So remember, if you need to bring the toes to the floor for your balance, then do, or bring the foot on the inside of the thigh. Once you've settled, then we're going to take a little twist and try and bring the hands over the thigh. Through centre, through centre. We're going to release the feet, lift it through the arms, and then we're going to guide ourselves down. We're going to come into a little ragdoll to begin. You may want to separate the feet a little bit further here, just depending on how your hamstrings are feeling today. And then we're going to release the right hand to the ground, take a little twist and lifting it through the left. And swapping over sides, taking the left one down, taking a little twist, reaching up with the right. Coming back down. Inhale, lifting up, bringing the feet back together. Hands down by our side. So exactly the same thing on the other side. So root the right, lifting the left. So settle yourself to begin. Find your balance. You want to find like a bit of a lift and a lightness through this pose. So once you're feeling pretty comfortable, then we can bring a twist into this. So taking the hands over the thigh. Through centre. You're going to release this foot around mat distance apart. Inhale, lift. And coming down, a little ragdoll to begin. And let's come into our twist again. So releasing the right hand to the ground, twisting, lifting up through the left. Swapping over sides. The left one comes down, twisting, opening up through the right. And releasing. Inhale, lift up, feet together, arms lifted, hands down by our side. So coming back to the front of the mat if you're not already there. Hands by our side. Let's take another full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to exhale, we're going to step back with the right leg, hook it into a crescent lunge foot, and then we're going to lift our body. The right hand's going to come behind and the left one's going to come forward. So we're opening it through the body here. So that back foot is hooked. Right arm back, left one forward. Inhale, bringing both arms together. And then exhale, swapping over sides. So the left hand comes behind now, right one's in front. So we're bringing this into our twist. And we're going to bring the back knee down now, coming into a low lunge, keeping ourselves twisted. And we're going to pivot to the back of the mat, coming into the same pose just on the other side. So I'm going to show you first. So we're going to take the left hand underneath, we're going to lift up, windmill our arms round. So our left hand is forward, our right one's back. Okay, let's move through that together. So lifting up, windmill the arms round, pivot the heels, and down we go. So staying twisted, we're going to take our hands together and hook the top of the left arm over the right thigh. So elbows stacked on top of each other. If you're feeling okay here, we're going to hook the back toes and lift the back knee off of the ground. Lowering the knee. We're going to lift our body, stay twisted and extend the arms open. We're going to pivot our way back to the front of the mat. So windmilling ourselves round, coming back again, into the twist to begin, then lifting the arms. Taking another moment. Keeping the back toe hooked. We're going to lift ourselves up and turn towards the right of the mat. We're going to take our legs a little bit wider, taking our hands onto the hips. So toes pointing slightly towards each other. Let's inhale, exhale, fold halfway down and release both hands to the ground. Take a moment to find some extension. Let's move around the other way. Take a moment to find some extension through the spine. And then we're going to take the right hand into the centre, lifting up through the left arm. So are we going to stay here this time, or we're going to bring the left arm behind us, grabbing hold of the top of the thigh if it's available, or the t-shirt if you're not quite there. If this is uncomfortable though, just come back to the previous pose. And releasing, taking the gaze down, swapping over sides. So the left hand comes down, we twist, lift up through the right. Lowering down, we're going to turn towards the front of the mat and come into a low lunge now. So lifting up through the arms. So I'm going to go through and move what we're going to do together in a second. So we're going to bring our weight forward and we're going to take a little halfway lift. So just taking that back leg about 90 degrees. Then from here we're going to come up, we're going to bring the right leg up with us, bend the knee. And if we can, hold on to the knee with the left hand, bringing our right hand behind us. And then we'll finish in mountain pose. So we're in our low lunge. Let's lift, let's take another breath. Bringing the weight forward, lifting up through the back leg. Halfway lift. Now we're going to lift, bring that right knee up with us, grab hold of the knee with the left hand, and then bring that right arm behind. So you can either keep your gaze forward or you can work it around behind you. Whoop, it does play with the balance quite a lot though. Bring yourself back to centre, releasing the feet, hands down by your side, take a breath. Inhale, exhale. So we're going to work through that flow again, but we're going to do the other side. So let's inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step back with the left, hook the toes. The left hand's going to combat the right one's forward. So we're opening to the chest for this first one. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, coming into the twist now. So now the left one's, so the right one's behind us, the left one is forward. Lowering down onto that back knee, nice and gently. Staying in that twisted position. And now let's pivot ourselves to the back of the mat. So lifting up, pivoting round. Same position to the back of the mat. Now we're going to bring the hands together and we're going to hook the right arm over the left thigh this time. So stacking the elbows, palms pressed together. We're either staying here or we're going to hook the back toes and extend the back leg. Lowering down, staying twisted as we lift up through the body, extending out through the arms again. And let's pivot our way back to the front of the mat. So lifting, pivoting round, down we go, and then lifting the arms into our low lunge. Moving forward, coming into that halfway lift now, lifting up. And seeing if we can come to stand. So we're going to take this left leg up with us, grab hold of the knee, open out through the left arm. So gaze forward, or you're moving it around to the back with these left fingertips on. Back to centre, releasing the feet, hands by our side. Let's take a breath in mountain. Inhale, exhale. We're going to move into our Malasana squat now. So taking your feet roughly mat distance apart, turning the feet outwards, taking our hands into prayer. Let's inhale and exhale, listening to what our knees have got to say. We're going to lower ourselves down. So only go as far as your body's going to allow you. So if you are all the way down, we're going to press the elbows inside of the knees, lifting up through the chest. So we're going to stay here for a moment or two. We are okay here though. We can stay there if our knees aren't going to let us go all the way down there. So now we're going to take the right hand onto the ground and lift up through the left arm. So we can do this if we're not quite down here. But for those of you who are sort of bum quite close to the floor, you may be able to bind here. So this right arm will just roll in. You bring that elbow behind you and reach round with the other hand to grab it. So you just hooked over that knee. But not there, we continue with that openness. Bringing ourselves back to prayer. We're going to inhale, lift all the way up, giving our legs a little break before we move on to the other side. And down we go. Let's take a moment here. Taking the left hand onto the ground now, lifting up through the right. So this is what you can do if you're halfway down, remember. But if you're all the way down, that twist may be available. So shoulder rolls in, so it rolls down. And then my elbow comes behind. Now reach round. And I grab it with my other fingertips. And gently releasing. Let's inhale, lift again. Coming all the way back down. And this time we're going to find our way onto the bum and go straight into boat pose. So use the hands if you need. Find the balance on your tailbone, bring our calves parallel to the ground to begin. Lift the chest, shoulders back. And a couple of breaths. And bringing ourselves onto our back now, we're going to squeeze the knees in. Now we're going to bring our legs back into that sort of boat pose angle, so 90 degrees through the thighs and the knees. Bringing our arms into cactus arms, we're going to come into another little twist now. So keeping the legs in that same position, we're going to take the knees over to the right. Lifting, and then over to the left. Lifting back to centre, we're going to do one more round. So over to the right. Through centre, over to the left. Through centre, squeezing the knees in. And now we're going to roll ourselves up to seated, extending out through the legs, getting ready for a forward fold. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, bringing the hands where it feels good really. So taking them over the feet, you may want to interlace. If we're not quite there, then we can use the floor. Take a moment to extend. And lifting it. So we're going to bring that right heel close to the bum. So you want it close to the bum and right next to the thigh. Taking the knee over. We're either going to hug it with our left arm, or we're going to hook the elbow over the knee, pressing our body through here. So behind you, the hand is on the fingertips. I'll move around to show you. Lifting the spine, taking the twist back. Few more breaths here. Keeping that lengthened leg activated. And gently releasing. So we're going to take this foot over the thigh now. And we're going to reach round with the left hand and give it a hug. So for those that you're able to, we're going to bring that low foot a little bit closer to the bum. Still hugging. Squeezing that knee in, taking that twist behind. And gently releasing. So we're going to pivot our weight, just move so you can see me again. Pivot away to the other side. We've done this a few times, always been. So taking the hands next to this right foot, we should be flat on the ground. We're going to try and keep the feet in the same position. We're going to lift up, pivot round, and sit ourselves back. So you should be in the same position, but on the other side of the body. We're going to reach round with the right, squeeze back with the left, squeeze the knee in, taking that gaze back. And releasing. So let's unhook, extending the legs out again, and we're going to do that whole round on the other side. So starting with the forward fold, whatever feels good. Inhale, lift, over we go. Take a moment to extend the spine. We're not curling, taking our head to the knees. Keep sort of dragging the body forward over the legs. and lifting ourselves up. We're going to bring our left heel now close to the bum, come into the twist, so the knee goes over, giving it a little hook, or giving it a little hook over. If you're hooking, you really want to bring your body through. So coming onto the fingertips with that back hand, so we're not slouching through the spine, keeping lifted, finding that twist. Moving through center, hooking that foot over. We're going to bring that other leg round if it feels okay. If not, just keep it extended, wrapping that right arm round and taking the twist here. Bringing yourself to center, we're going to pivot ourselves around again. So hands next to the left foot now. Lift, pivot, and down we go. Bringing our left hand around the thigh, squeezing in. And let's undo ourselves. Releasing the legs, we're going to take them out nice and wide now. So as wide as you comfortably can, legs activated, toes pointing up. We're going to start with just a wide leg forward fold. So hands just on the inside of the thigh, extend, and let's start walking forward with our fingertips. So I said a few times before, sometimes if you have a block here, it's quite nice to slide forward and use that to slide forward. Or if you're finding that your knees are bent up, then bringing something underneath you, so maybe a couple of cushions or a blanket rolled up or a couple of yoga rocks, if you have that, can sometimes alleviate the hips a little bit, giving a little bit more release through the legs. So extend whatever we've got under our bum. We can still then follow the same technique as we move into the pose. Lifting ourselves up, we're going to come into a bit of a side stretch now. So we're going to start with our hands. We're going to open up the chest, lift our left hand up, and we're going to bring those left fingers down towards the toes. So some of you will want to stay on the fingertips here, okay? So you don't want to start crashing forward with the chest or curling everything up. You want to keep the openness. Some of you better come onto your forearm here. Some of you may be able to get all the way down to your toes, but don't let that compromise the pose. We're just trying to find that stretch here through the sides. So as you become more flexible, you will naturally go deeper into it, but we're all finding the same stretch, no matter whether we're here or whether we're down here. And let's just open our bodies a little bit, rolling it forward. We're going to work our way around. Let's do it on this side. So either on your hand, moving onto your forearms, so open the chest, lifting up with the right hand, going down towards the toes, lifting up a little bit further if we need. So try not to, we're not grabbing it here, taking that bicep over the ear, moving down towards the toes that way. Lifting ourselves up, lifting it through the arms. I'm going to come back just into a little forward fold here for a breath or two. and lifting ourselves up from here. So I'm going to demo what we're going to do for the next pose, what we're going to do, and then we'll have a little go together. So we're going to bring the right hand behind us now, and we're going to try and lift the hips up, find a little bit of sort of height through this pose and come onto our toes. So it's a bit of a variation of reverse plank. So use this left hand. I'm going to use it to get a bit of momentum, but do what you need with it. We're going to lift up. As I come up, my hips are going to come up, my toes are going to come to the ground, come into a bit of a back bend, bit of a twist. And then I'm going to lower my bum down. Then I'm going to swoop round, taking the left hand down, lifting the hips up, finding that twist. So once you've found your momentum, this does get a little bit easier. So the bum comes down, swoop round, lift, taking the hips up. A few more times, lower, swoop, and lift. Going back down, and lift. We're trying to get our toes to the floor, lower. One more time each side, lower down, over to the right. Lower down, over to the left. Perfect. Bring yourself back to centre, hands to prayer lift. And let's bring ourselves on to our back now. So squeeze the knees in. Let's slow down the breath again. It's quite a dynamic pose, so just slow it all down. So we're going to come into our final twist now before we settle in our Shavasana. So keeping hold of the right shin, extending out through the left leg, coming into our supine twist. So take hold of that knee, take it over to the left and extend out through the right arm. Through centre, taking both knees in, we're going to swap over sides, so extending out through the right and taking that knee over to the right, extending out through the left. Gaze to follow the fingertips. Back to centre. Last squeeze, both come in. And then releasing yourselves to your Shavasana. So lay, as always, however feels comfortable for you. So it could be on your side, on your belly, on your back. Legs and feet spread, legs and hands spread out wide if that feels okay. If you've got a pinchy back, bending the knees is always a good idea here. So let's take 3 nice deep cleansing breaths together, and then we can settle into that space we've created. So take a deep breath in, out through the mouth, and again, deep in, long release, last time. Slowing it all back down, slowing the breath, finding that natural rhythm. Let's set up camp now in that space we've created for ourselves. Enjoying these final few moments of our practice.